10 simple techniques to drive boredom away from your marriage. Hi friends, welcome to Marriage Realities, a comprehensive relationship channel. Today's video is all about the simple ways to drive boredom right away from your marriage. Most of you feel bored with your marriage, don't you? The drudgery of your daily routine, your never-ending family responsibilities, your oppressive relationship problems make you wonder why you married at all. Auntie, I'm terribly bored with my marriage, Selina, a girl I knew, grumblingly told me. I looked at the girl with bewilderment as I had always thought she was happily married. Why, dear? I smilingly asked her. Well, Auntie, I live through the same routine every day. There is nothing new in my married life to cause any excitement in me, Selina sighed with regret. My thoughts went to the day of her wedding. She looked flushed with the rosy glow of happiness. And just after a few years of living with her husband, she was now saying that she was bored with her marriage. She is not a lone person in feeling so. Selina was in fact one among the millions of couples who feel that their marriage is a big bore. Why do you, like most couples, feel bored with your married life? To understand this, you must take a peep into your day-to-day life in your married life. From Monday to Friday, you're all keyed up by your work-related stress. You return home dead tired after your stressful office hours. You do not have the energy to interact with your spouse or your children. So, you spend lonely hours watching TV or playing video games. You eat an uninteresting dinner. You retire to bed with your head hammering with worry about yet another chaotic workday ahead of you. Your weekends rush past in catching up with pending household work and going out with your family. Though you enjoy your weekends with your family, your mind keeps harping at your Monday when your hectic weekdays begin. Rather a boring routine, isn't it? Your day-to-day existence with your spouse is very predictable and very mundane. Your interaction with your spouse is mostly about family commitments, and the topics you choose are often very confrontational and very argumentative. Can you see that it is your routine lifestyle that makes your relationship stifling and choking? When you lead such a routine life, it's only natural you feel that your marriage is one big bore. If you let your relationship slip into boredom, you'll miss the true and actual happiness that marriage can give you. Here are 10 simple techniques to drive away boredom from your marriage. The number one way to drive boredom from your marriage is to be friendly with your spouse. Friendliness between you and your spouse is the key to keep your marriage alive and kicking. When you're friendly with your spouse, you feel comfortable and relaxed at home. This is the reason you should not always talk about family issues with your spouse. It only makes you heated up and knotted up. Do not always talk about financial issues or your work-related tension with your spouse. When you do so, your interaction with your spouse becomes serious and staid. Instead, talk about movies, funny happenings in your office, or innocuous family gossips, anything that is friendly and carefree. The number two way to drive boredom away from your marriage is to have mutual hobbies. The mutual hobbies you share with your spouse makes you spend interesting time with him or her. Your hobbies can be anything, like watching movies or reading books or even listening to music. You can also do gardening together. You can go hiking together. You can go to gym with your spouse. When you have mutual interests, you have interesting conversation about it with your spouse. The number three way to drive boredom from your marriage is doing interior of your house. Doing the interior of your house is an exciting pastime you should constantly indulge in with your spouse. Interior decoration does not mean you should spend tons of money for it. Placing your sofa in a different place, changing the curtains, or even changing the position of your flower vases gives an entirely different look to your house. Doing interiors with your spouse is an interesting way to drive boredom from your marriage. The number four way to drive boredom away from your marriage is being adjustable. Do you know you feel bored with your marriage when you have constant conflicts with your spouse? When your wife wants to watch your favorite soaps, give her the remote willingly. A simple action makes your wife feel pampered. When your husband wants to watch his favorite sports, allow him to do so. This simple technique makes both feel relaxed and pampered in your married life. Understand the simple fact that your spouse need not do things the way you like. You must also understand that the way of your spouse doing things will be completely different from you. To be happy in your married life, you must overlook it. You should also never try to change your spouse according to your liking. When you adjust with each other, there is a lot less tension between you. And when there is less tension between you, you can easily avoid many relationship issues. When there are minimal relationship issues between you, you can easily enjoy your marriage. The number 5 way to drive boredom away from your marriage is to spend quality time together. Most of you never really spend time together. You do your own thing and your spouse does his or her own thing. You'd be surprised if you notice how much both spend your time away from each other. Never ever commit this relationship blunder. Go for long walks with your spouse. Do not discuss family issues on your way, as you'll end up fighting about it. Choose TV programs that interest both and watch it together. Watch comedy shows together. It makes you laugh and enjoy your time together. And sitting in close proximity with your spouse makes you feel cozy and good. And the number 6 way to drive boredom away from your married life is to celebrate your special days. Birthdays of your spouse and your wedding anniversary are all occasions where you can show your love. Do not overlook the birthday of your spouse as a routine day. Plan it beforehand and involve your children to celebrate it to the full. Spring loving surprise on your spouse by buying gifts which he or she had longed for. Celebrating functions and festivals as a family takes away the routineness of your marriage in a telling manner. The number 7 way to drive boredom away from your marriage is to keep your love alive. Most of you just let go your marriage. You live through your marriage without paying any attention to its niceties. Your simple and loving actions can literally bring life back to your boring marriage. Go through your marriage photos frequently. It makes you relive the beautiful emotions you felt on your wedding day. Visit places you haunted during your dating days. Keep appreciating your spouse. Be encouraging towards your spouse. Such small cute things are beautiful ways to renew your boring marriage. The number 8 way to drive boredom away from your marriage is by having your own unique me time. After your children are born, you find it near impossible to enjoy having your own personal time with your spouse. Most of your time is occupied by duties and responsibilities towards your family. How boring can your marriage get? Here is the simple romantic tip. Plan a date for yourself without your children. Just the 2 of you. Your parents can take care of your children. You must make arrangements for your children to have fun of their own so that you do not end up feeling guilty of having fun without them. Do you know the anticipation of your planned date makes you feel like a newlywed? It becomes your second honeymoon. The number 9 way to drive boredom away from your marriage is going for candlelight dinner. Candlelight dinner makes you feel more like lovers. The dim light stirs the feeling of romance in you. It feels exciting and romantic to you when you dine with your spouse in such a romantic atmosphere. The number 10 way to drive boredom from your marriage is doing shopping together. Shopping with your spouse makes you unwind your tired mind. Buying things for your family makes you feel happy. But one word of caution. Always shop within your budget. As otherwise, both will end your shopping in an accusing game of wanton spending. It is up to you to make your marriage interesting and involving. Did this video give you clues about driving boredom away from your marriage? Marriage Realities will have many such relationship eye-openers. Subscribe to my channel to understand your marriage in a new light. Press the bell icon for updates about my latest relationship videos. Make love forever until death do us part your relationship goal.